Have you ever wondered how people in the Americas lived thousands of years ago, long before the first European ships arrived? How did they eat? What did they wear? And how did they get things they couldn't find nearby? Forget the image of isolated tribes. Ancient America was a bustling continent, connected by vast and sophisticated networks of trade and culture. Let's journey back in time and uncover the secrets of their daily lives. First, let's talk about the basics: food, water, and shelter. Survival was a full-time job. In North America, life was incredibly diverse. Along the Pacific Northwest coast, communities thrived on the abundance of the sea. They were master fishermen, harvesting salmon, seals, and whales. The forest gave them massive cedar trees, which they expertly crafted into everything from sturdy plank houses that sheltered multiple families to magnificent ocean-going canoes. Their wealth wasn't in gold, but in resources like fish oil and intricately woven blankets. Move inland to the Great Plains, and the scene changes dramatically. Here, the bison was king. For nomadic groups like the Sioux and Cheyenne, the bison provided almost everything: meat for food, hides for tipis and clothing, bones for tools, and even sinew for thread. Their lives were a cycle, following the great herds across the vast grasslands. Their homes had to be portable, and the iconic tipi was an engineering marvel, easy to assemble and disassemble, yet strong enough to withstand the fierce plains winds. Down in the southwest, in the arid lands of present-day Arizona and New Mexico, the ancestral Pueblones faced a different challenge: water. They became master architects and farmers. They built incredible cliff dwellings like those at Mesa Verde, tucked into sheer rock faces for protection. But their real genius was in agriculture. They learned to cultivate maize, beans, and squash their three sisters, using ingenious irrigation systems of canals and check dams to capture every precious drop of rainwater. This agricultural surplus allowed their communities to grow and thrive. Further south, in the lush lands of Mesoamerica, great civilizations like the Maya and the Aztecs built sprawling cities. Tenochtitlan, the Aztec capital, was a metropolis on a lake larger than any European city at the time. Their daily life was supported by an incredibly productive form of agriculture called chinampas, or floating gardens. These were artificial islands built on the shallow lake beds, creating super fertile plots of land that could be harvested multiple times a year, feeding a massive urban population. So they had their local resources figured out. But what happened when they needed something they didn't have? That's where the magic of trade comes in. Ancient America was crisscrossed by trade routes, some stretching thousands of miles. These weren't just simple exchanges. They were complex networks that moved goods, ideas, and culture across the continent. Imagine a trader starting a journey from the Great Lakes region. They might be carrying high-quality copper mined from places like Isle Royale. This copper was highly prized and has been found by archaeologists as far away as the Gulf Coast. As they traveled south along rivers like the Mississippi, they would trade their copper for other valuable goods. Perhaps their next stop is Cahokia, near modern-day St. Louis. Around the year 1100, Cahokia was a massive city, the largest north of Mexico, with huge earthen pyramids and a population of tens of thousands. Here, our trader might exchange their copper for finely crafted pottery, high-quality flint for making tools, or salt, which was a crucial commodity for preserving food. Continuing south, they might trade those goods for beautiful seashells from the Gulf of Mexico. These shells, particularly large conch shells, were carved into intricate ornaments and used in important ceremonies. These very shells have been found in archaeological sites all the way up in the northern plains and the Great Lakes, showing just how far these networks stretched. And it wasn't just practical items. Luxury goods were a huge part of this trade. Obsidian, a volcanic glass that creates an incredibly sharp edge, was mined in specific locations like the Rocky Mountains and traded across vast distances. Turquoise from the southwest was another highly sought-after material used for jewelry and sacred objects. It was traded eastward to the plains and south into Mexico. Feathers from tropical birds like macaws and parrots, native to Mesoamerica, have been found in ceremonial sites in the American Southwest, a testament to long-distance connections. These trade routes weren't just highways for goods, they were conduits for information. As traders traveled, they carried stories, shared knowledge about farming techniques, and spread artistic styles and religious beliefs. The spread of the Three Sisters agriculture is a perfect example. This powerful combination of corn, beans, and squash originated in Mexico and slowly made its way north, transforming societies wherever it was adopted. The beans climbed the corn stalks, the squash provided ground cover to keep moisture in the soil, and together they provided a near-perfect nutritional package. Currency, as we know it, didn't really exist. Trade was primarily based on barter. The value of an item was determined by its rarity, the difficulty in obtaining it, and its cultural or spiritual significance. A handful of obsidian might be worth a beautifully decorated pot. A finely woven blanket might be exchanged for a supply of dried bison meat. In some regions, certain items like cacao beans in Mesoamerica or special shells called wampum in the northeast began to function a bit like currency used as a standardized medium of exchange. So, the next time you picture ancient America, don't imagine a static, isolated world. Picture a vibrant, interconnected continent. Picture a Pueblo farmer in the southwest wearing a necklace with a shell from the Gulf of Mexico. Picture a chief in Ohio being buried with ceremonial objects made from Rocky Mountain obsidian and copper from the Great Lakes. The daily lives of these people were a masterful blend of local ingenuity and continental connection, a rich tapestry woven together by thousands of miles of trade and shared human experience. Thanks for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Let me know in the comments what part of ancient American life you'd like to explore next. See you in the next video.